people I know benefited from Bank of Industry. I at least know 4 that they're very happy with the service. They can do better in terms of time. Time is money, you know. Maybe processing faster. I was promised to get the whole thing done within a month or 2. It took a longer period than that.
I was thinking if the government will come in, maybe by giving the Bank of Industry the opportunity and permission to give working capital, at least to the smaller companies like us, I think it will be better.
Well, that's how we set the ball rolling today on the program BOI Weekly. We are taking all your queries and worries concerning SME funding to the doorstep of the Bank of Industry, not only from the perspective of those who have secured funding from the bank, but also from other key players in the subsector. I sat down with the BOI Executive Director SME, Mr. Waheed Olagunju, asking him to provide clarity on the knotty issues surrounding BOI's funding for SMEs in Nigeria, and he literally took the issues apart. If you're one of those who have doubts about the credibility of the Bank of Industry's role in SME support in the country, you should watch this. The session also promises to give you a global sense of how you can position yourself and your business to maximize contemporary opportunities. I'm Kayode Alayande. Welcome to BOI Weekly. Mr. Waheed Olagunju, thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Despite the fact that many people who have come, many of your beneficiaries who have come on the program have said time and time again that, look, I didn't have to know anybody to get funding from the Bank of Industry. We still hear cynical remarks from people saying, no, it's not possible to get funding. The process is highly politicized. How do you react to this kind of positions?
Well, perhaps there are 2 categories. Some do not even know where the Bank of Industry is located. Some have not even visited our website. Because when we hear some of these complaints, okay, fine, who did you see? Who did you meet? When you say it's difficult, tell me who you met and what are the challenges, what are the obstacles. They are not able to provide us with ready answers. Okay, have you visited the website of the Bank of Industry to know our product offerings and then our requirements? Oh, they say, oh, we don't know the website, and give it to us. But if you just Google Bank of Industry, you'll find our website. Even though we are through various channels of communication, the conventional one, electronic and print, as well as digital media, we are publicizing our phone numbers and internet access as well, right? So many members of society do not make the effort, right, to even reach the Bank of Industry, but they just make comments, right? We want to appeal to such people to please make the effort. The internet is very cheap now. The penetration in Nigeria is improving every day. We hear it's more than 70 to 60 million now, right? So you should be able to access the bank, and then riding on the mobile platform of existing GSM platform of 150 million subscriber base, we have our SME app. You can approach, you can learn more about the Bank of Industry through the SME app, and also approach any of our offices. We've increased our offices from 7 to 14 now across the country, and we're doing this on a progressive and a cost-effective manner from time to time, right? So we're trying to make our services, products and services, bring them closer to members of the public, our current and potential customers.
What would you say to people who have bought into the myth that it's not as they say it is, so they've just turned back? How would you encourage them? What would you tell them to do?
Well, day in, day out, we are taking steps to deepen our service delivery and to increase access. They should just do the right thing. We launched 5 digital offerings recently. I talked about the SME app, which means for as long as you have internet access, you can download the app onto your mobile phone. You can apply for our loans online through our online loan application portal, right? We have an SME accounting app, right, to aid bookkeeping for SMEs. We have a SME customer portal as well, where our customers advertise their products and services. Then you can also even track your applications online without knowing anybody. So these are steps we are taking to deepen our service delivery and to increase access to the bank's products and services. They should not adopt a negative attitude, right? They should make the right move because we are out to serve members of the public. We have our KPIs, key performance indicators, and on an annual basis, we have our targets. We have a 5-year, for example, 5-year learning program in the SME group. We have 310 billion naira to lend between now and 2019. Right, to lend. It's not a grant, which means that you must meet our criteria. We have our criteria, and they're not very, very difficult if you're a genuine potential customer. They shouldn't be difficult to meet. Although we ask for considerable information, you need a very good business plan. Because while working with you, we're also out to ensure that you don't fail. In fact, our overriding objective is to ensure that your business succeeds. Because it's a mutual relationship. When you succeed, we succeed. When you fail, it affects us. A good credit officer or an efficient financial institution is not judged by the amount of money he or she is able to disburse, right? It also depends on the performance of the credit some years down the line.
All right, but so many people, well, some of the people who have interviewed, who even have received funding from the Bank of Industry, has said the time between when they get approval and when the funding itself hits their accounts is usually maybe inexplicably long. Can you clarify, is it usually the fault of the lenders, or is it some inadequacies on the end of the Bank of Industry? Would like you to clarify that.
Well, I'm happy that you know clearly that the responsibility falls on both the bank and the customer when it comes to drawdown or disbursements. Because upfront, we let our customers know what the conditions are. And when the loans are approved, there are conditions precedent to disbursement, which are not strange to the customers. Because right from when the loan is being processed, you are being sensitized to what the pre-disbursement conditions are, the things you need to bring before you give. We don't pay the money into the accounts, by the way, as part of correction. In most cases, we finance plant and machinery. So we disburse directly to the manufacturer, to the manufacturers or the suppliers, or where we make working capital available. We also, as much as possible, disburse to the suppliers of the raw materials, because we know that there is tendency for some customers to divert funds. So we try to ensure that the required funding goes to areas where they are needed. And some of these conditions are external to both the customer and the bank. For example, when it comes to perfection of documents, the bank does not perfect, the customer cannot perfect. It's usually, according to statutory requirements or the acts existing, state governments are involved, right? And you need to go to the relevant arms of the state government to get this done. That is beyond the control of the bank or that of the customer. They have their own processes, they have their own procedures. And the attitude to work in most of these establishments is not anything, there isn't much we can do about the attitude to work in most of these establishments. We also know that because of the size of the country, a lot of our customers are located across Nigeria. So we've increased our offices, we've doubled from 7 to 14. And then we have also automated our processes such that some processes that normally that used to take a month or 8 weeks in the past can now be undertaken in 24 to 48 hours. For example, the disbursement. The availment tickets used to be manually undertaken. In other words, a colleague in Gombe or Bauchi wants to fill a disbursement form, he does so manually, and he puts it in a courier. It gets to Lagos. It moves from one table to the other, right? From the business group to perhaps the legal department, to the risk management department. Then it goes to finance, it goes to accounts, it goes to operations before the disbursements are effected. But we've now introduced an online availment process whereby the colleague in Gombe goes on his computer and he fills the availment form online. He presses a button and it goes to everybody. And you are required to take action on relevant sections of the availment ticket within some timelines that have been agreed. So that has crashed the disbursement process entirely from 4, 5, 6 weeks to now 48 hours. The online application too has also been introduced, has been launched, which means that you can apply online, and when you apply and you submit, your application automatically goes to where it should go. You are based in Sokoto, you can say from the press of the button that you want that application to go to the regional manager that is in charge of Northwest, who is based in Kaduna, for example. Although we're trying to set up an office in Sokoto as we were in the process, we're working with the state government. And we're working with a number of state governors too, across the country, to open up branches. So with automation, that has crashed our processing time considerably.